Coming back to Yelm, why does your mom choose Yelm out of all the places?
Dude, I don't fucking know, dog. Like, I don't even know why we chose Washington to begin with, because even my stepdad at the time, like, his family was from like a whole nother place, like on the eastern side of Washington, which thank God we didn't go over there. That's a shithole. But the Northwest, like, it's dope. But there was no reason other than it's cheap. Like, I think they got the 5 acres for fucking dirt cheap. And then I just remember like going to like a mobile home park, and they bought a single wide mobile home from like a family that was getting evicted. This shit was grimy as fuck, bro. Holes in the fucking doors, cupboards, trash, like white trash to the fullest. But they bought the house for like $1,500. Had the trailer pulled up, parked it on the property, and boom. And I think it was just more out of being able to survive, and you know, and it's the only thing I could think of.
Was it hard for you to make new friends and settle while moving so much?
No, I wasn't, because like I said, as a kid, I've always been naturally athletic. So sports was my shit. So being good at that, and again, this is different times. Back then, when you go to a new school, you have recess. You play in the morning, you play at lunchtime, you do all that. I don't know if they still do that. I don't think they do, but back then, that's how you kind of made friends. You had to fucking go, you know, whether you played football, basketball, tetherball, whatever the fuck it was on the recess shit. So for me, being good at sports, people were playing football. That was my shit. I wanted to be Jerry Rice when I was a little kid. So whenever fucking, I was always good at kickoff returns. So when football came, I would just make sure I caught the ball, and fucking 7 out of 10 times I'd run it back. And that's all it took. Once kids see that you're good at something, especially sports, they kind of naturally want to be your friend. So I could easily transition into making friends by just being kind of good at sports. So it wasn't difficult for me. It was difficult, I guess, for me to find, like, you know, real ones, you could say, like the true blues. But as far as like just making friends with people, that part was kind of easy for me.
As you mentioned, motocross, a big part of your life. How do you fall in love with motocross? Who introduces that?
So my first stepdad, he's the one that got us into motocross. Like, my mom, before I was born, used to ride dirt bikes. Like, my mom's a beast. Like, she's really the one that like, I'm kind of, I am the way I am because of her. Like, she didn't fuck around. In the 70s, she was fucking smoking cigs, riding dirt bikes. Like, I don't know many moms that were like that. So anyways, my stepdad got me into dirt biking. I was 8 and a half. He put me on my first dirt bike. And like I said, we were visiting his family over in the cut. There was nothing around. They lived in the country too. But he put me on this dirt bike, and I was like, fuck. And I did it all day long. I just instantly fell in love with it. I rode that thing from fucking as soon as I woke up till it got dark. And that was it. Twisting the throttle, bro, that shit's fucking epic, dog. That's all I could say.
Would you say motocross is your first love?
Yeah, I would say one of the first passions that I had, for sure. I mean, I liked sports too as a kid. I would say football probably when I was little, but yeah, once I got into moto and dirt biking, for sure, that's all I wanted to do.
Do you ever look to compete in motocross?
I do, still, even in my age, bro. And as a kid, I did. Like, I started racing in Washington. I raced, it's called hare scrambles, where it's like a kind of half woods, half motocross, and that's how I started. And also at the same time, my stepdad and my mom joined a motorcycle club. So every weekend, whose ever like family turn it was, they'd be like, oh, we're camping at this area. So all of us would fucking show up and just camp for the weekend, go ride. And that part of my life was like probably some of the funnest times as a kid, just being able to go camp, rip dirt bikes, like every weekend. Like, come on, bro, like that shit's fucking, you know, looking back, like how blessed could you be as a kid? And like back then to now, it's different. Like, I feel like now we're very judgmental in what people have. Like, you got to have all the dopest shit. Like, back then you could have a piece of shit truck, shitty dirt bikes, a blown out camper trailer. No one gave a fuck. You were just good times, good vibes. There was not as much judging, I feel like, that goes on today. So back in those times, like, epic as a kid, for sure.